Hi everyone, this is Ms. Charlie. I'm head of education for IMsL again this year, 2020. My team and I are responsible for putting together some high quality education programming for participants of that weekend. I'm really excited to be here again this year. This video, as we're kicking off the RFP process for workshops, this video touches on three things. So the first thing is what you need to do if you want to be a presenter in 2020. Two is what's in it for you, so the benefits, and three, the important dates. So let me start with what you need to do if you want to present this year. So you fill out the form. If you've been with us in the past, if you've taught with us in the past, you'll notice that the form is a lot lighter, simpler, shorter, more streamlined, a lot easier to fill out. You will be asked to include yourself and your co-presenter or panelists as applicable, and you'll be asked to provide a headshot and a bio for each person. When we're making the selection, so when we're looking and deciding which workshops we're going to be keeping and not keeping, we're looking for a balance of things. So we're looking for some beginner, some intermediate, and some advanced level workshops. But one of the things that really makes a difference is we're looking for workshops that seem to be well structured and that are engaging. So we're asking you to go beyond the stand up and talk and actually get people to engage and to do things. So you don't just talk about bondage, you get people to do bondage. So because people who are doing things are learning more than if they're just listening. So that's a big thing. Another big question, and you'll notice towards the end of the form, there's a question in which we're asking what the strategies are that you're planning to use to contribute to the outreach and safety of the underrepresented communities. So we have four, as you probably know, that we have identified. So people of color, we have trans women, people with accessibility needs, and people who are 35 and under. So what we're asking you to do in this question is to think about the topic that you're teaching and how it is that you can make it more inclusive for these four underrepresented groups. So in the past, we've had some answers that have been sort of like, rope doesn't see color. We're actually asking you to go a little bit further than that and actually think about, okay, how might it be applicable? How might you make it a little bit more accessible and inclusive? One of the ways, I keep using the bondage example, but one of the ways that you might do that would be to say, how you might adapt the workshop to people who have bigger bodies, for example, or maybe you'll have some rope that's available that people can borrow so that they don't have to purchase the rope themselves, and so therefore removing the financial barrier. So these are ways that we're really looking for to see, has the presenter made the effort to think about how it is that they might be more inclusive in a really intentional way. So that's I think it's the last question in the form. That's about that. If you have questions, or if you have trouble answering that question, and you want to bounce ideas, send us an email at edu@imslbb.org. So we can maybe help you find ways to adapt your workshop to the underrepresented communities. So that's about the form. Oh, and you have one form per topic. So if you want to send us, 3 different workshops that we can pick from, great. But that means filling out the form 3 times. Happy to select maybe more than one. If you provide 2 workshops during the weekend, that might work. So don't be shy to send more than one in. So that's the form. The second topic that I wanted to tell you about is the what's in it for you. So if you look in the guidelines, there's a section where we talk about the benefits, and essentially for presenters, it's a complimentary basic registration for the weekend. So for you and for your co-presenter, pardon me, if you're conducting a panel, you can get up to 4 complimentary basic registrations if all the members of the panel are included in the initial workshop submission. So the idea is that we don't want people to be like, including and not including or waiting for the last minute to get your panelists. We really need you to have your ducks in a row from the get-go for them to be able to get their registrations complimentary. If for any reason somebody needs to drop out and you need to bring another person in, that's fine, but they won't have access to the complimentary registration. If you're using a demo bottom, it doesn't count as a co-presenter, but we can count those hours or that time as a volunteer hours. So that's another thing to consider. And in terms of the important dates, so let me just pull that up. So the important dates, so we're opening the RFPs on November 11th, and it's going to be open for exactly 1 month, so closing at midnight on the evening of December 11th. We're going to make a quick turnaround in terms of decisions and notify presenters as of the 16th of December. And the deadline for presenter confirmation, so that the deadline for you to say yes or no to our offer is January 6th. And we do that because we need to start putting together the published version of the workshop. So the sooner the better, because then, some people, they make their decisions as to whether they want to come to IMsL based on the workshop offering. So that gives them a chance to take a look at that ahead of time. In January also, we're going to reach out to each selected presenter to schedule a phone call. So in the past, we've had asked some questions via email, and it just created this infinity loop of chains of emails. What we're trying this year is just to book half an hour with each presenter and just go through, what you need. Do we have, the everything that we need in order to be able to go to publication? And so we'll be in touch with you during that time. So that's January 15th to 30th. And in March, there will be a presenter phone call. So that's where we touch base with everyone. So you'll get an invitation to that. If you can't make it, you'll get a recording link after that. And then it's April, and that's when we do our workshops. So that's it. Very excited to have you guys on board. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to the team using the edu@imslbb.org email. And we are all volunteers, so we might not answer exactly right away, but we do our best to get back to you as soon as we can. That's it for me. Have a beautiful weekend, a beautiful month, and we'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye-bye.